mid to late afternoon yesterday. The news comes down that Aaron Rodgers will be coming to the New York, New Jersey area.
I thought you were going to talk about the Jets. They re-signed Connor McGovern.
Hey!
That was the news yesterday.
What were you doing when the news came down?
I was at a soccer tryout for my 7-year-old. I was fired up, and we all talked Aaron Rodgers, all the dads, as we're sitting there looking at our kids.
I was at pickup also, and immediately all eyes turned to me. So I'm like, hold on. They're like, 2 first-round picks. I'm like, no, slow down. It's actually a swap. So, yes, it's a lot.
Can you give us a taste? Give us a taste. Right there. What do you got? What do you got? Go to Peter.
So I'm like, the Daily News has got rejoice with Rodgers. And, like, I feel like we're going to get to our reactions to this, but...
What do you mean?
Rejoice. You gave up a lot.
Okay, good.
You gave up a lot.
Interesting.
We'll get to it.
All right, interesting. I love it.
Now let's go. You're going to hold your opinion until after the lead block?
That's what I'll do.
All right, time for the lead block.
Time for the lead block.
The NFL welcomed Aaron Rodgers to New York with this image of the quarterback in his new duds. And, of course, his now former and current close friend, teammate, David Bakhtiari, had thoughts saying arms and hands need to be a little bit hairier, in my opinion. Now, this isn't a shot. This seems to be how this friendship goes.
He's so wacky.
He's so wacky.
What a card.
So wacky. They're going to miss him, though. Arms and hair need a little hairier. Tom Pelissero, what's up? Our NFL Network insider. The news that everyone was waiting for finally happened yesterday afternoon. Tell us all the details.
Jamie, we finally have a trade in place to send Aaron Rodgers to the Jets. Here's the nuts and bolts of it. The Packers and Jets are going to flop first-round picks in Thursday night's draft. So the Packers move up 2 spots to number 13. Jets now own number 15. The Packers also get one of the 2 Jets' second-round picks, the earlier of the 2, number 42 overall. Teams will flop late-round picks with the Jets moving up from the 6th round to the 5th. And then the Packers also get a conditional second-round pick in the 2024 draft that will become a first-rounder if Aaron Rodgers plays at least 65% of the snaps. So the draft doesn't begin here until Thursday night, but really the deadline for getting this done was significantly sooner. That's because Aaron Rodgers needs to sign a revised contract with the Packers to ease the cap hit in 2023 for Green Bay and help to facilitate this trade. The Packers then have to hold that revised contract on their cap for 24 hours. In other words, it'll get signed, in theory, today. They will then hold it until 4 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday. Only after that can they actually submit the paperwork to the league and make this trade official prior to the draft beginning on Thursday. It really boiled down to this. The Packers had been trying to get a second rounder this year, which they did, and an unconditional first-round pick in 2024. Once it became clear that the Jets were not going to do a hard one in next year's draft, they had to find some kind of a kicker. That's where that 13-15 pick flop came in, and then the Jets also got the kicker with the late-round pick flop. So for the Jets, they get their quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, add him to a young, really talented team that won a bunch of games last season with a bunch of different quarterbacks. They now have the 4-time NFL MVP reuniting with offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett, who is one of Rodgers' favorite coaches of all time, and the expectations will be sky high for the Jets in 2023. For the Packers, they now move full throttle into the Jordan Love era. Also brings us to the question of how does this impact now those new first-round pick slots? Well, for the Packers, been well documented, never drafted a first-round receiver for Aaron Rodgers. At 13, they're in the pole position if they decide that there is a wide receiver worth taking there. As for the Jets, their primary need is getting more protection for Aaron Rodgers. It's one of those top tackles still going to be on the board at number 15. We will find out Thursday night. Jamie?
Oh, we have a working theory on this show, Tom, that the ultimate petty move would be to just draft all of the pass catchers the Packers possibly could with every single pick that they have in this draft. We will see if they fulfill our hopes and dreams here this weekend. Tom Pelissero, thanks so much. We'll talk to you not too long from now. Needless to say, Aaron Rodgers' new teammates pretty thrilled, and that includes one Sauce Gardner, who shared this March 8th text exchange with his now quarterback. Rodgers wondering, yo, Sauce, why do you still have that cheese head? You snagged it from Lambeau. Sauce says, so I can burn it and we can win a Super Bowl together. Yeah, that would be a pretty sick story, wouldn't it? Kyle also observing that Aaron Rodgers is an LOL guy.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Good
to know those people.
Yesterday after the news, Sauce also had said, yes, that would be a pretty sick story. So it's the potential trade that we've talked about for months. It kind of goes back to last season, too. Yeah. Where is Rodgers going to be? Where is his buy-in going to be? Now we know. It's with the Jets. Peter, your thoughts?
I feel for Aaron Rodgers trying to direct message with a kid 19 years younger than him. You know,
Yeah,
just like,
significant age
trying to be
difference.
hip. Like,
LOL, you just go with whatever
you
the
guys
cool
using
kids.
LOL? Like,
How do we do, fellow NFL players?
Exactly.
The Buscemi with the skateboard.
He's
He's
exactly
trying.
right. He's trying.
Sick story it would be. I know, it's tough.
Sauce.
Sick story.
Tough.
What is it? Sauce?
Tough. Yeah.
Look, Jets fans are rejoicing. This was like, finally, and that's great. And I just would say this. The Jets could have dragged this out till July and made this even more painstaking, and it could have really, really squeezed the Packers in a way. But I think at the end of the day, Joe Douglas and the Jets were like, all right, let's bend a little bit. Let's give them the second rounder and then flop the first rounders. And then second rounder, of course, could be conditional to a first, which is a lot if Rodgers gets injured, and it's a lot if Rodgers wakes up and says, you know what, at the end of the season we went 9-8. Missed the playoffs, and I just want to ride off into the sunset and go back to Malibu. Then you're given a first and second round pick for 1 year of a 39-year-old quarterback. This is all great for the Jets if this works out. I saw it today, like locally. Some of the guys in the local beat were saying Super Bowl contender. I can't go there yet. I can't go there. And then they plop in, well, it's Brady, it's Stafford, and now it's Rodgers on this team. And if they just had a quarterback, they win 5 to 6 more games. I'm like, it's not as easy as that. Here are 2 things I need to see. I want to see what the Jets are paying Aaron Rodgers. He was set to make $60 million with the Green Bay Packers. I have it on good information that there will be a contract restructure, or those terms will be different. I want to see what they pay him and see where that is in line with the top quarterbacks in the NFL, because the Jets have to still continue to build their roster around Aaron Rodgers. And then the last part of it is I've got to see what they end up doing with that 15th pick, because they have to protect him. Their offensive line was atrocious once the injuries kicked in last year, and once Vera Tucker went down, and Becton's played 1 game in, I think, 33 months, something, not 33 months, but 1 game in 33 games that they could play. Rodgers can't be running around and being this mobile running quarterback at 39 years old. So I don't want to be a Debbie Downer for Jets fans. Of course, if they go to the playoffs, even the playoffs, it's a win and it's great, and who cares about the compensation? But if Aaron Rodgers plays less than those 2 years, and if Aaron Rodgers, God forbid, gets injured, you're giving up so much and you're paying him so much money. You just have to hope that it works. But at this point, Jets are like, let's rip the Band-Aid off. And Joe Douglas says, let's get to work. Because Rodgers hasn't been there in the off seasons in the last couple of years in Green Bay. He's been with Miles Teller in Hawaii. He's been just off doing what he does last year. I would expect the Jets are hoping him to be a part of these offseason program and to be with his teammates. And that's asking a lot for someone who just hasn't been that guy the last few years in a different place.
You're laying out these scenarios if Aaron Rodgers does this. You're talking about if Aaron Rodgers does this for the New York Jets. Rodgers is a Jet. Like, that's the headline here. And listen, there's a lot of takes, Peter, that I respect about, listen, it's a 2 and it's likely a 1 to pay somebody north of $50 million. And even worse, it could be 2 2s, because then it means he's a Jet. He's a New York Jet. The New York Jets haven't had a good quarterback since Jimmy Carter. Honestly, they got Rodgers. They got him. Rodgers is a New York Jet. Yeah. I don't care about the price. I don't care what they paid. I'm walking on set here. You want a voice of the people, Peter? I'm walking on set, and we have a camera operator, and we have Ryan, our wardrobe guy, and the camera operator is saying, I don't know, man. They paid a lot. And Ryan, who's wearing full head-to-toe Jets, is like, bleep it. We got a quarterback. When's the last good quarterback we've had? They got Rodgers. They have Rodgers. Listen, I think they're going to be really, really good. Do not forget, Zach Wilson started at quarterback, and they beat the Bills last year. The Bills, who are supposedly owning this era. Now they have Rodgers, and I hate the takes. I really hate them about Rodgers is washed, Rodgers is aged out. Locke watched him last year. 2 years ago, he won the MVP. Last year, I think he was completely mentally disconnected from the team. I think there were wide receiver problems. Fine. It was not the greatest year. I think he is not going to be Favre on the Jets. I think it is going to closer resemble Favre on the Vikings. I think he's going to be excellent. Do not underestimate Aaron Rodgers' ego in all this. His thoughts about how people think about him, his thoughts on his legacy. I think he is working out like a lunatic, like he never has before. I think he'll be very involved with the Jets. The headline here, price, great. Everything's expensive in New York City. The New York Jets got Aaron Rodgers. This is not just football history. This is American history. We will talk about this in 30 years. The Jets got it. I don't care what they paid. They they got Rodgers. He's their starting quarterback. That's massive.
Massive. And because it's been the talk the entire offseason of when he's going to join, it was March 15th that Rodgers said his intention to play for the New York Jets. And it took this long for it to finally happen. But Jets fans, they are rejoicing because over the past several weeks, I've talked to different Jets fans and they're just like, I don't know, everybody keeps saying Aaron Rodgers is coming, but I haven't seen anything yet. That day was yesterday. And to me, when you look at this move, I look at the belief that it now brings into the building, into the facility for the New York Jets. We saw teammates yesterday changing their Twitter profile pictures to Aaron Rodgers, him back at Cal. We saw from Sauce Gardner. We saw from Breece Hall. We saw from multiple guys saying, and this is showing you how they feel. They played the last season with multiple quarterbacks. Breece Hall obviously rehabbing, coming off the knee. My knee just feels a little healthier now. And I think that speaks to now when Aaron Rodgers walks into that building, whether I'm a defensive player or an offensive player, I may watch an extra hour of film. I may get a little bit more treatment because now I really believe we have a shot at possibly winning a Super Bowl. Yes, is it too early to talk about those things? Of course. But every offseason, teams talk about it going into training camp, what the goals for the year are. As soon as you are able to make a trade for Aaron Rodgers, those goals just became realistic. So as I look at this move, it is everything for the New York Jets because now you can go into a season and feel comfortable saying, hey, we're one of the better teams in the league and we feel like we have a chance, just a chance. And last year, that wasn't the case. They had a really good defense, but you never fully believed them. I think now, to your point of what you just said, they actually matter in the scheme of when you talk about the NFL this upcoming season.
And I don't care who says what, it matters when a sports team in New York matters. It affects the country, it affects how people watch television, it affects when kickoffs are set on the various networks. It's a big deal. I just want to credit Robert Saleh for going to whoever he needed to go to say, this is what I need to happen. And part of that decision-making tree was getting Nathaniel Hackett to New York because that plane flew cross country last month in early March with the owner of the Jets, with the head coach of the Jets, with the GM of the Jets, and their new offensive coordinator in Nathaniel Hackett. And this relationship goes way back, and it's wildly successful. And if we know nothing else about Aaron Rodgers, that he thrives when he seems to feel comfortable, when he knows the people he's working with. There are very specific personalities that work with this quarterback that obviously make him tick, and Nathaniel Hackett is one of those guys. And then Nathaniel Hackett came into town and said, we need a lot other guys on this roster. They went out and got Alan Lazard. They went out and got a former backup quarterback of Aaron Rodgers in Tim Boyle now with the New York Jets. Like, they are just putting people around him to make him the happiest Aaron Rodgers we have ever seen. Maybe he needed a change of scenery out of the wintry Wisconsin weather, but I also think he needed some familiarity when he arrived here in New York.
I do too.
Yeah, I love it. And to your point, will he be here at the Jets facility going through these offseason workouts, throwing to his receivers, or will they be in California with him? Either way, I think that is going to play a huge role.
There's been a parade down Broadway right through our show, and that's all good. I think Packers fans are rejoicing also. Thank you for your service. We just got a haul for a guy who didn't want to be here. So I feel like this is good for both teams.
Jay, do you think when you see the players changing their avatar to Rodgers, I'm reminded of Broncos training camp last year, and the Broncos players were taking selfies with Russell Wilson because they're like, look, we got a superstar now. Now, we know how that worked out.
Yeah.
Nathaniel Hackett notwithstanding. You get any vibes of that? Like, there's a hero worship going on? Is that good? Or
it all depends on Aaron Rodgers. Brady brought that same sense, where as a receiver, you're scared to death in the huddle to run the wrong route. And I think his ability when playing with Tom, being in the locker room, his ability to just be one of the guys, it makes everybody more comfortable. We talked about it last offseason with the Broncos. Russ kind of making it uncomfortable or people feeling like he was different than everybody. I think how Aaron Rodgers comes in and how he approaches it will go a long way in how fast they build chemistry and get clicking.
Well, it was sweet. Breece Hall and Sauce Gardner picked those pictures because when they were born, Aaron Rodgers was a junior and senior in high school. So they just wanted to go throwback, him in his Cal jersey. That's when they were like 5 years old when that was happening.
And I love him wearing 8 instead of naming 12. He said you can wear 12. He's like, I'm going back to the college 8. I think that is really cool. I'm a little surprised at your response. I thought you'd be more excited.
They dragged on for so long, and the Jets were holding their feet to the fire. They had them where they wanted them, and I think they gave up a lot.
Is this the New Yorker in you? Like you usually think they paid too much?
Could have done this. The Jets
they bought an Aston Martin.
The Jets could have done this trade too. I mean, they dragged this on. They dragged this on. Let's see it. And then I don't know. I feel like the second we got to draft night, if the Jets are on the clock, the Packers really had their feet to the fire because then they don't get any of these picks. And they did the deal now. It's fine.
Spicy.
It's kind of fun, right?
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. All three of you guys are going to get great traction on this one. I can be the negative